Hello, in this video I'm going to be doing my take at the Path of Exile Build Roulette challenge. If you're not familiar with this challenge, it's where you spin a wheel and whatever it lands on has to be your main skill in some capacity, whether that is mapping or bossing. It just has to be used in some sort of way. So let's get to it. Let's spin this wheel. And the wheel landed on Ethereal knives. I'm happy about this. I've been wanting to use this skill for quite a while now. So Ethereal Knives is a spell type skill. It throws out 10 to 13 different throwing knife projectiles that do physical damage by base. The way I'm going to build into this skill is by stacking chains. So it bounces from enemy to enemy for clearing, and then I'm just going to stack into ignite for just all around damage purposes. I'm obviously choosing the Witch class, and I've decided to name my character Fireblades because I think it'd be pretty cool. I don't know. During the fight with Hillick, it took a lot of maneuvering to avoid not taking any damage and just letting fireballs ignite do most of its work. Upon defeating Hillick, we enter Lion's Watch and we talk to the 3 NPCs in this area and gather up all the quests to continue with our journey. We also buy Ethereal Knives since it is a level 1 skill, and we buy a wand with a green socket as well so we can put in Ethereal Knives. Once we got to the ledge, the build was not performing the best. It was okay for clearing big groups of monsters, but its single target damage was severely lacking. While we were in the prison area, I found this rare amulet, and I used it for most of the campaign. It had relatively decent stats related to fire damage. It was lacking resistances though. Once we got to Brutus here, the build was not performing the best still for single target damage, but I did start using Flame Wall because any projectile that goes through it gets added fire damage. It helped a little bit for single target damage, but it was still not the greatest. Once we got to Mervale, the build was performing quite a bit better due to Ethereal Knives scaling significantly with level due to base damage. I also did end up having my first death to Mervale, unfortunately. Once we reached Act 2, I decided to not help any of the bandits for the extra skill point. Once we reached the Chamber of Sins and helped out Helena, we were able to pick up Herald of Ash. This was a game changer. It helped boost the damage due to the extra fire damage, scaling with physical damage, and the explosions that the skill creates. After we picked up Herald of Ash, we also purchased Herald of Purity, and it was also a pretty big jump in damage due to the extra physical damage. After entering fortunately found 2 chaos orbs after doing the final ritual. Upon defeating Piety for the first time in Act 3, I was able to pick up Zealotry, which is a massive boost because it increases our critical strike chance with spells, and it increases spell damage overall.
Tolman's dead then.
Right after I picked up Zealotry from the Piety quest, I was able to afford Tabula Rosa, and I used the 6-link setup.
It's
I
a
use
gilded
Ethereal Knives, Combustion, Arcane Surge, faster casting, increased critical strikes, and added lightning damage. Later on in Act 4, I would add Chain instead of critical strikes.
Finish this. Claim your inheritance.
I need more mana.
After setting up our 6th link, I took my chances at the lab, and I was successful at defeating Exile.
Triumphant at last.
After defeating Exile, I chose the Elementalist Ascendancy, and with the 2 points we got, I allocated Shaper of Flames, which allows all my hits to ignite. This was a game changer. This build absolutely destroyed Dominus due to Shaper of Flames. It makes my single target damage so much better.
Yes?
After defeating Dominus, I dropped this rare scepter that
What's
I ended
you-
up using for the rest of the campaign.
Yes, take
and
care.
using an Exalted Orb, I eventually got +1 to all physical skills in a later act. I then defeated the Nightmare, and that was the end of Act 4. Nothing exciting really happened throughout the rest of Act 4 or 5. At this point, the build was feeling amazing. The damage was great, single target damage was great. As shown in this video, or this clip rather, it was just chunking the boss's health. This build made light work of Kitava and the rest of Act 5. It feels phenomenal so far. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, feel free to like or subscribe. Absolutely not a requirement. I had a lot of fun making this. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey. I will also link the Path of Building for the campaign version throughout the description. If you have any suggestions or comments, leave them down below. Thank you.